Hey everybody, welcome to the Emt.Films. My name is Alex and you're on the Emt.Films Podcast. This is episode 1 and I'm joined here by my guest today, Alec Scheller.
Hello, I'm Alec Scheller.
So Alec, how have you been, man?
I've been doing good. I've been doing really good. Doing a lot of, trying to do a lot more improv, getting into as much film as I can possibly get into, as you know. The daily struggle of a movie maker and actor.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I definitely feel that struggle too. It's sometimes very hard to just try to get stuff out there, with timing, scheduling, and work, and life happens. So you know how it is with all that stuff. So today we're going to be covering at least 4 topics. We can even go further than 4 topics. Just an hour-long podcast to get this first episode out of the way. That way, if people like what we're putting out, then maybe there'll be an episode 2. Who knows? If people get interested, we'll produce another one.
You gotta comment, and subscribe, guys. That's how we know that it's working.
Yeah. We'll even have more guests on eventually. That's the plan, And we'll also have films coming out too, so if you're interested in subscribing to the YouTube channel, I definitely recommend doing it, so that way you can see Alec's pretty face and then me behind the camera. I don't know if you've ever seen me behind the camera, but I'm a beast. Let's go.
We feel you behind the camera. You guide our eyes perfectly.
All right, so we're going to get started with the first topic today. It's old movie theaters, like the places where you go where you first discovered that you wanted to be a filmmaker or a actor or anything in the industry.
Okay, cool. As for me personally, this is going to sound super weird, but the Regal Countryside, I know it's kind of like, I like what they've done with it. They've kind of turned it into like more of like a Bollywood type of theater. They kind of play stuff that's maybe like 2 or 3 weeks after it's been opened.
Yeah.
But that used to be the main theater in like all of like I don't know about all of Northern Virginia, but at least in like the Leesburg, Sterling area. And I just remember being a kid and like my daycare would always go there during like the morning, like the cheap morning shows. Like I think I saw Baby Geniuses there, that trash movie. I don't know why. Yeah, it was such a trash movie, but like for some reason I have like this vivid memory of it, like seeing that. But like I always also remembered like just seeing a lot of great movies like with my mom and dad. Like I remember seeing Flubber there, and I can't remember. Oh, you know what movie I think was the one that really like got me to where I was like, this is what I want to do. It was actually Anchorman.
Anchorman?
Yeah, that was the first time where I was rolling off my ass laughing, and I was like, I want to make people laugh like that. Yeah. And like I specifically remember like on the car ride home trying to get like my mom to laugh like as hard as she was doing in the theater. I made some crappy joke about a biker who's like, he had these long pants on and it looked like his legs were just like flapping along. It was strange. He looked like a wacky waving inflatable arm 2-man, but just like just the legs.
And your mom's reaction was?
Oh, she was laughing. Yeah. My mom's always been like a big fan of my comedy. Like there was definitely a point in time where my main goal was to try to get my mom to piss herself. And it would happen often. And in public places, that was the best.
That's a good goal. We all try to get each other to piss each other's pants in public, especially.
It's a quick little bladder check, Make sure it's still working down there.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the doctors would be happy, too, to find out that, everything's going all right down there, that they're not, going through anything.
No kidney stones, nothing wrong.
Yeah. Right, well, for me, I would have to say, I'm a Nova boy. I grew up in Falls Church, actually. So, the movie theaters that were closest to me were the Tyson's movie theater and the old Merrifield multiplex. Right over there where Mosaic used to be, where the New Angelica Theater and all those bullshit large apartments are. Right there used to be like this really old multiplex theater with a parking lot that just overgrown with grass. Like not many people went there, but when you went there, it was an experience. Because the old movie theater look was still there. There was like the old arcades, the cheesy 80 carpet.
Yeah,
it was like the giant Coca-Cola stain on the floor.
Still there.
Yeah, but they had the greatest arcade games there. They had like an alien shoot 'em up kind of game and stuff, and you could win prizes there. I never won anything, so it was always kind of bullshit. But one of the cooler things that reminds me of that movie theater that made me look at it and say, let's keep going to the movies there at that movie theater is whenever you drove by the place, it had one of those billboards that, they would constantly change the signs to say what the show times were for the specific movies that they had up that day. And as soon as I kept going and going, I kept seeing it there. I saw like all of the the first few Harry Potter movies, and all of that stuff. But I can remember on the way home after every movie that I saw while I was going there, I was like, I really want to make a movie like that, because they always hit me so hard to the point where I was like, this is what I want to do in the future.
Yeah.
And I didn't end up doing it until I got to like late middle school, and then all of high school. I was just like, this is what I'm gonna go for. But on the side, I did try music at some point, but you got to learn a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you got to try it. And music is still part of filmmaking. I mean,
yeah,
you wouldn't have the same experience without sound and music. So
yeah, for sure. Because it all ends up coming together, and I feel like it's important for everyone to have a good grasp of what's what, especially with filmmaking.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad I have you as a friend, because like I wouldn't have tried to break out of my shell and learn a little more about acting. Mm-hmm. From you, and watching you and the projects that we've worked on, I was like, wow, I like the charisma he has. Maybe if I could borrow a little bit of that, maybe it'll work for me too. But there's no one better than you at what you do. So
there's a few people. I think Christoph Waltz would have like some arguments to that.
I'm sure he would. He'd be like, Alec Schiller who?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be like,
right?
Alec Schiller, the boy who fucking made Mike and Joe. Was it?
Yeah, I think it was Mike and Joe.
Mike and Joe? Yeah.
And Landline, I remember that.
Yeah, it wasn't called Mike and Joe before. It was like, it was Caffeine.
Oh yeah, it was
Caffeine, and then for some reason they changed it to Mike and Joe. If for the viewers who aren't familiar, we used to be a part of a smaller filmmaking group that comprised of a different YouTube channel. You can check them out on my YouTube channel. They're still sourced there, so that way you can go check out the film that we produced for them for the 48-hour film festival, and a side project that was fantastic. It was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun to work on.
And I'll definitely leave a link there for them, for you guys to go check them out and tell them hi, tell them that we sent you, give them love, whatever.
Yeah. Artists helping artists is always my motto.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, especially in the acting world, a lot of people like take it like a competition where it's like, I don't want to help you out, I don't want to give you any too much like help or anything, because like then all of a sudden you're going to be taking my jobs. And I never like to look at it like that. I always like to think of it as like, if I can help somebody out, maybe they can learn something from me, and maybe I can learn something from them. Yeah. And hopefully we can help each other get the next job. I think that's I know this is a little bit off topic, but I think like that's the biggest downfall with acting, is it always seems like a competition, except for in improv. And I think that's one of the things that drew me to improv, is it feels like a family atmosphere, where you're trying to help each other, you want to help each other. And the whole premise of how to set up jokes with improv is to give gifts and set things up. So sometimes you have to be like, I know I can do a good punchline here, but it would be way better if I could set them up for the punchline. So it's like a give and take, and that was probably one of the greatest things for me as an actor, was finding improv. On two theaters, I want to, going back on our topic of old movie theaters, two of the oldest that I've been to, and probably two of my favorite like movie going experiences, for completely different reasons. The more prestigious one I'll start with is the New Mission Theater in San Francisco. It's an Alamo now, but I used to work at an Alamo, and I've made it like a goal to try to go to every Alamo. But I went to the one in San Francisco, and it was actually an old 1917 theater that they restored and everything, and they had pictures along the wall about the restoration process, some of the old films there. And I actually saw Diary of a
Wimpy Kid?
No. It was like a 1910 film, but it was like accompanied by the San Francisco Quartet or something. And like, I'll never forget, like just sitting in like a 100-year-old theater watching like a 105-year-old movie with an actual like accompaniment. The way it was, I literally started crying before the movie started.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, literally, like it was such a funny experience just to be like, you're literally just starting a movie, and I was just overcome by the emotion of, this is movies. Like, this is what it's been about. This is what it is. And that was really crazy. The other crazy part about that was my server was actually somebody I used to work with at the DC Alamo.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So we went across the country and ended up still seeing each other at the Alamo.
Oh, nice.
Great place. Yeah, shameless plug for the Alamo. I love that place.
Yeah. It is a really good place. I can say that I've been twice, but if I had to go again, I would definitely go again. It's a really nice movie theater.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, so what's my next topic?
I was going to say one last one. The other theater that I want to say, Tally Ho. It's no longer a theater anymore. Now it's like like a concert venue, but it used to be like only like a two theater, like a two showroom theater. But it's just like the idea of like, that was a place where it was like, it really felt like you were sitting in this old theater with those old seats, and like they had concrete, they didn't have carpet. Like I always thought that was really cool. It was actually, but I kind of liked it for a bad reason. Me and my girlfriend at the time in high school, we could never get out of the house without her parents following us, unless we went to the movies, because they never wanted to see the movies we went. I probably had sex in the tally ho at least 3 or 4 times. We would sit in the back row because there was in theater 2. We didn't even care what was playing, but it would always be theater 2 because there was like a little like turn that was like literally just 3 walls, and then you'd see the screen. And when you walked in, you couldn't see those seats. Wow. So you could literally just do whatever you wanted. So that was the moment I knew I wanted to make movies.
That's crazy. We go to see a nice kids movie, and you hear...
We fucked during Gulliver Travels. Nobody was in the theater. Nobody wanted to see that movie for good reason. But
I bet the people who work at the movie theaters, they're probably like, God damn it, I have to clean up that,
I wonder if, like, when Emily Blunt and Jack Black were filming that movie, they're like, yeah, somebody's gonna fuck to this. This isn't like a G-rated podcast, is it?
No.
Good.
No. We're all good here. Just, I'm not a PG-13 kind of guy. I really do like my R-rated stuff. So let's get the blood flowing. Let's yell out some things.
Good. If it goes well, our next guest will be Ryan Reynolds in full Deadpool costume.
That'd be great. I'd definitely love to have him on. Ryan Reynolds, if you're listening, and I know you aren't, but
he could be. You never know.
I triple dog dare you to come to our podcast. Just come to my house in Northern Virginia, in Centerville.
Just shows up at the house.
He's like, hey, I hear you were talking shit about me on your podcast. Right? You should definitely stop it. Now I'm going to be on your podcast. I'm going to talk shit about you. Anyways, but yeah, going back to the whole, I know we segued off into talking about like how sometimes there are other people who treat them, other filmmakers, other artists like shit because they think it's like a competition. Apparently there's a lot of that going on in Northern Virginia too.
Oh, yeah.
I guess everywhere really, but here it's kind of like the little community that we have here in like Nova. It's small, but at the same time everyone's always trying to get ahead of each other without working in teams. And I feel it's very important that people try to work in teams. Because if you don't, I get it, like if sometimes you run into another person and you're like, hey, you kind of don't work out because we disagree on certain things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you should stop working with them. It should just mean that like, hey, I don't know, what would be a good way of like stopping that from happening?
I mean, I think personally, I think part of that's also your director has to take control of that, especially if you spot like a situation where 2 actors or 2 crew members aren't getting along. You kind of have to just remind them like, hey, look, this is business. I don't give a crap if you don't want to see this person on your free time. Like, you would never have a beer with them, whatever. But when you're here, you're doing business, okay? So you either get your job done or you get out, Because you have to I do think that you're going to get better products when everybody cares about each other, likes each other, works well with each other. But I mean, just with humans, you're not always going to have that scenario. So being able to separate the personal from the professional is important.
Yeah, guys, there's definitely a lot of toxicity in the world, and just trying to find a nice little balance between professionalism and your own personal liking towards somebody. So, let's move away from that topic now, because that is a deeper topic that could definitely tackle in another podcast, because...
Yeah,
that one
that could be its own hour right there.
Yeah, that's its own hour. Okay, so let's move forward to we don't even have to go to the next topic because the other one was like experienced vet production people versus like novice production people. How they look at filmmaking. We can still talk about that, but we can keep that short. So from my experience that I got this job at DC Camera. It's like a rental house. Shout out to DC Camera because they're the best. The guys are there. They took care of me when I needed work. I was looking for a job over the summer, and I was like, shit, I need something. And luckily enough, like, I don't know who, somebody up there likes me. They threw me a bone, and I got that job, and it was pretty sweet ever since.
Nice.
I learned a lot about stuff I don't usually get to learn, because right there they have like all that like heavy industrial production stuff. Like they also have workshops too. So if you ever want to learn something, you can go there.
I might take you up on that.
Yeah, I'll definitely let you know. Because I want to go at some point, but I've usually been busy with school. But I'm going to try to make an effort this year to just start working on me as like in my own networks and also on my YouTube channel, so that way we could grow together. You and me, because I want to start this thing now. And I'm tired of waiting. The same boat. I'm tired for waiting for like a team where there's like I don't mean to get too personal, but other production people who are like just as ambitious as we are, but they don't see eye to eye. They're just like, I want to go and do my own thing, and paths diverge, and that's perfectly fine. But we also got to remember that if we all want to succeed, we also have to work together.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll definitely let you know when those workshops are.
Yeah, I'd love that.
I got that job at DC Camera, and I started seeing how like some professional people look at stuff, and they're definitely the nice ones that were like, yeah, I've been on like 1,000 shoots. I've worked with Roger Deakins on this one project or whatever, and I'm a part of the AC's association or AC's guild or whatever they call it, because I'm not a part of it. Not yet, at least.
Yeah, not yet. We'll get there.
And one day. But yeah, they're definitely the guys that are like, hey, yeah, whatever you need. I know that you're still learning, and I won't be a dick to you. But there are the other guys who just won't have it. They're like having a shitty week or just having a shitty year, or they're just too jaded about the production process that they don't want to like stop to help out other people that might have been in the same position they were when they were younger, and wishing that they had somebody like them to help them out. And that versus like that's the whole experience of like what I see people with a lot of experience go through, versus like the more like semi-professional filmmakers that are like, hell yeah, let's do something, let's go make something. That's us basically. Yeah. Fortunately, I had the experience to see what the other side looks like, and I can bring some of that experience back, and with a little more positivity and a little more ambition, we can definitely grow a little bit higher than the pros. Yeah. They get stuck at a certain point. They have a good vision, and there's definitely a good structure as to like why they get jaded with the production side. But you just gotta always keep growing, no matter what it takes. And it's like at some point you hit something to do with your personality and how you view yourself and your goals and stuff. You gotta throw that aside and just say, hey man, I want to work. I want to do this. I want to make what I love, and if it makes me money, dude, that's fucking great.
I think it all comes down to like a love for the art. Really, I think there's certain people who get into this business because of the glitz, the glamour, and the glory, and they don't get into it because they love doing it. I think there's a difference between being like a perfectionist and like kind of being pretentious. Some people, they really want to make sure their stuff's perfect, but it's because they love what they're doing. There's other people who think that everything that they're doing is perfect and it has to go their way. Part of things being perfect is making compromise, making those, hearing from other people and listening to them. And I think, at least in my experience, I've noticed, because I've done some directing, I've done some acting, and I'm mainly acting, but in my experience as a director and actor, I guess, the people that I've worked with who are more professional, they're usually a lot more laid back. They're usually a lot more open to suggestion, and I like the way they, at least like the few commercials that I've done that were professional acting jobs, when they had a suggestion or they had an idea, they phrased it more as like a suggestion, not like we need to do this. Even the director was like, what do you think about this? Where I've been on, even my last project that I did, it was like a student film, but there was certain people where it was like, I'm doing this. And it's like, no, you need to first off, especially because for this one I was directing, and the guy who was my cinematographer, hopefully he never hears this, but whatever, he just like refused to listen to me and refused to do anything because he said, well, I've done this stuff before. I know what I'm doing. It's like, you can know what you're doing and that's great, but like if you're just doing it if you're just doing it by yourself, then it's like, what's the point of having a crew? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It got to a point where he was just taking shots, and like we weren't even like, I wasn't even thinking that we were rolling. Like I'm trying to like scope out the location. He's just sitting there wasting battery. It was really, the editing process for that was really exhausting.
I bet. Yeah, it's always a little cringeworthy for me to see that there are some people who are just like, no, I gotta do this because I know how to do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I do get it. You have to listen to the people you work with because they're seeing something that you're not seeing. And as a director of photography, as a director, as an editor, I'm not an actor yet, but I do take whatever my actors, my crew, my team, whatever they tell me, and I take it into consideration so that way I can make the film better, and that way they can enjoy it when they watch it. You know, it's not just what I want; it's what they want, and if it all meshes up and we all like it at the end, I'm okay with it. Because it's like I love seeing my products on the big screen. When we did the 48 and that film going up on the screen, I was like, it's like a whole new feeling. Like I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I've been addicted to that recently. I've done 4 of those since then. I'm addicted. I'm below cash on that shit every year. Love it though. I love it. And I think part of it is like filmmaking and just everything about film is a group process. Not just like making it, but like when you're watching it with the group. You know, if it's just one person making the film and making all the decisions, then that film is gonna only appeal to one person. But if you get all your crew members, all your cast members to get their input, you're going to appeal to a wider audience. And that's really what it's about. You really want to speak to as many people as possible. And I think that's another thing. Like some people, they make films and it's a vanity project. Like I almost worked on one of them last summer where it was like midway through, me and Rachel, we were working on this one film, and like she just turned to me like midway through and she was like, this is his vanity project. He doesn't care what we're saying. He doesn't care what we're doing. And he wants to write, direct, star. At that point, we literally just said, nah. We have better things we can be doing this summer.
There's people who just don't want to let go of their vision. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
It's I can understand, too. Like, if it's your baby and you've been working on it for a year.
Oh, yeah. It's tough.
You definitely want to try to at least make some of what you originally wrote down in your little dorm room or your bedroom or wherever you wrote it down, a possibility. But you also got to take in consideration that there's stuff that other people see that can make your film better.
Yeah. And the other thing is also realizing, because something that we were doing when we did that little pitch meeting this past week is realizing your limitations. And I think that was with the film I was just talking about. We had this grandiose idea where it was like, there's no way we're not making this without a budget. Like we'd need a couple $1,000. Even if we wanted to go guerrilla filmmaking, there is no way in hell that we could do such a big idea without at least a good 20 person team and some money. Yeah. And we just didn't have that. So it ended up falling apart.
Yeah, I don't remember into everyone's name. Like the only person I've had the most contact with is Kat. She stayed after the meeting to just read me her script and stuff. Yeah. That script is definitely doable, but it does need a budget. It's really long. It's not long enough to say that it's feature film, but it's long enough to say that you need a budget to hire at least this many people, especially for the hours that the story takes place in. Like I think it takes place within a 2-day period, but at the same time it looks like it goes through a day and night cycle. There's at least 4 actors, maybe 5 involved, like a parent. There's definitely cars to go through, and you can't forget crafty too. You gotta feed your actors and you gotta feed your crew. So definitely it's budgetable, and we can figure that out as we go along. But I told her when after we were done reading the script that this is definitely doable. There are a lot of stuff that still needs to be figured out. There's definitely typos when you're writing script, typos, whatever.
Oh yeah, I'm the same way.
Parentheticals would be best. I gave her the suggestion of using parentheticals to give like a skeleton guideline to the actors as to what they should be emoting and stuff. You never want to also let go of how you want the actors to do their thing, but if they have an idea of what's better for the character, because they read the script, it's not just you, and they're going along with it.
Yeah.
They read the script, and the parentheticals are just a guide. They can toss the guide in. They can give you a way better performance than what you're looking for. But for her script, I definitely say it's like a we have to make a pilot, a small like section of that whole thing. 'Cause she says she wants it to be a show.
Yeah, she was really happy about your
your
critiques and everything.
It definitely has the potential to be like a good show, and a pilot would do wonders for it. But I think we should work on smaller projects first.
Get our feet under us.
I was listening to the other pitches. I can't remember exactly everyone's name. I really liked the first guy's pitch. What was his name?
Who? Kashan?
Yeah. Just because like I've been really into the whole like dark and gritty noir kind of sounding thing.
Yeah.
And when I was listening to this thing, I was like, it's very fantasy and it's got those magical dark elements to it, especially with like how the girl character that he pitched to us is like this the devil's daughter or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And when I suggested to him that, it doesn't always have to be all magical and stuff, it can be like a metaphor, like the rich kingpin's looked at as the devil and his daughter is the actual girl.
Yeah.
And we have the protagonist or whoever. It's like the cool, like, suave guy with like the leather jacket and like the slick comeback hair and a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just bringing that back, it just brings me back to like the old Terminator, the first Terminator movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger comes back. A little more cooler, going to techno-noir and pulling out his gun and stuff like that.
Nice.
Like, that's what I love. But that also requires a budget that we can figure out. Because there are some places in Nova that look like they're still stuck in the 90s and the 80s.
Yeah.
We can kind of figure that out as we go. But I really liked his story.
I liked his. I liked Tark's too, but like, he started to like fall apart there when he started to like do the synopsis. Yeah, it was a good pitch, but then the synopsis was like, "What are you doing, dude?"
I feel like he was improv.
I think he was towards the end. I think he was.
So definitely could use some work, but the kid's got a good idea of where he wants to take his story. I'm saying kid because like I feel like I shouldn't be saying kid because he's probably older than me.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
Oh, jeez, yeah, that's right. I'm fucking old, man. That's what scares me about all this. Luckily, I got a baby face, man. I got a call back for an audition for it was like teenager number 2 or whatever. But I was just flattered that they called me back to be a teenager. I was like, yes, I can shave 10 years off my face.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, not many people can say that they like can get younger roles.
Yeah,
there are the ones that are at the top, like Jonah Hill and Michael Cera, that always look like they're 16 years old. Yeah. Except for Michael Hill now, because he's kind of lost all the weight.
Yeah. Well, even Michael Cera, too, is like... He's starting to look older and older.
Yeah, he's growing out the beard, just getting the stubble in now, but...
He does a lot of independent films now.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. He's doing a lot of, like, independent films in, like, Mexico and everything.
Yeah, I saw the one where he went to Chile, and he was, like, the Crystal Fairy film. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
That was a great movie. It was kind of really weird to see him in a role where he's addicted to cocaine and kind of an asshole to his friends.
Well, what, you didn't see This Is the End?
I think that movie came out before... Well, yeah, probably before This Is the End, and that's what inspired him to be like... Yeah, I'm a fucking asshole.
That movie's fucking hilarious, though.
But that meeting was great. I really enjoyed meeting everyone there, and they all had a bunch of great like ideas and stuff. I can't wait for the next meeting because that hopefully we'll be a lot more prepared. And we'll see what we can come up with. I was talking to Kat right before we left because. She parked like right across the parking lot from my car. So we were just talking, and I told her about like a project that I wanted to do. I didn't really have like a set plan for this project. I had a location where I really wanted to shoot. There's this place on Fairfax Boulevard, and there's like a diner. It's like Diner 29. It's a really small diner. It kind of has this neon light out the side.
No, it's cool.
Yeah, and it's on the Northern Virginia filmmaking website, so you can get permits for it, and it's definitely doable. If we just tell them like, "Hey, we're filmmakers, we're students and stuff," they'll be like, sure,
go ahead."
And you're just when are you gonna shoot? I want to shoot all this at night, get that really cool night neon glow, and then probably go from there. She came up with a really good idea, Kat. She came up with a really good like short film idea for that. It's like it's like a love story. I don't know if you've ever seen well, not really a love story. It's a really sad story. It's about like a guy and a girl who are really going through like a tough financial time and stuff, and they find themselves at this diner, and they eventually come to the conclusion that it'll be all okay since they're all together. And it won't be like a music video or anything. It is kind of picturesque, like a music video. There's the guy and the girl, and they come to like an agreement that, hey, we're in a bad spot, but we'll always be fine as long as we're together. But I really like that, you know. And it's very it's very sad and realistic, and I really want to just kind of try to do something like that. Hopefully we can figure that out too. Kat was texting me today about like the script idea and stuff. I was like, yeah, I'll bring it up to Alec and see what he thinks. You know?
Yeah, sounds good to me so far.
Yeah, and we were like, who's gonna play the boyfriend? Who's gonna play the girlfriend? Because we don't. She's not gonna want to act. She
doesn't like to act.
She wants to do the directing kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's where she really wants to go.
Yeah.
She's an interesting person because like I think she could act, but like.
Yeah, she's
very shy. She's a really shy person, and it's just one of those where we end up spending more time trying to get her out of her shell than being able to film. But she comes up with some great ideas. I think if she were to ever get out of that shell, she's a great idea person. I think she comes up with a lot of stuff. What were you going to say?
But she definitely needs a push. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she definitely needs the push. And she is definitely trying because, like I said, not many people text me back and they're like, hey, what's going on with this? I'm like, okay, well, I guess since you're interested and actually want to do this, we're gonna do it.
Yeah,
and I want to do it too. So
yeah, that's what I like about her. She definitely texts back pretty quick. I could see Tark playing.
Yeah, we were thinking of using Tark as the guy, but we can't think of a girl.
I look great in drag. I'm just saying.
That's what I told her. I was like, hey, man, Alec told me one time he did drag.
I've done it a few times. It's been more than just once.
Want some water?
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Alright, yeah, for sure. But I don't know. When we were talking about it, we were like, who would play the girl and stuff? And then we kind of just like kept thinking, and I was like, is Rachel still around? Because I wanted to ask you beforehand. But I know she went to different college.
She's down in UVA.
UVA.
Yeah, she's super busy. Amazing actress though.
How's that going though? By the way, you know, last time I saw you, you guys were like you were hitting it off really great, and then I went radio silent. I stopped hearing about everything. You know, I had you guys on social media, but you know, social media.
Yeah, we're still friends, but we definitely. It's just one of those things where she's in college. No, I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to be some guy that like ties her down while she's at that moment in her life where she can kind of finally explore everything. So, just taking a break, kind of friends now, exploring different venues, options. There's some other girls that I'm talking to, you know. That's Love Life with Alex Scheller. It's the midnight hour. Ladies, if you're lonely, call me up. I'm here to answer any of your calls.
Yep, his phone number is 703.
Yeah, right.
Man. But yeah, no, I haven't had the best luck with the ladies, but you know, because I'm such a dork and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I'm very like introverted, but I'm trying to also get out of my introverted shell. But I did meet this one girl like when I went out of the country for New Year's and Christmas and stuff, and she's pretty cool. Like, she's definitely not one of those girls who are like pushy and stuff and like, hey, I want to fuck you, I want to sleep with you. Not very Joker-esque, but like, hey, I want to fuck you. Hey, girl. Allow me to tell you. But no, she's really cool. She's obviously not from the U.S. She's German, so she's one of those like. That's
pretty cool.
She's one of those backpackers that you meet outside of the country and stuff.
Just watch out for like what was that one movie? There was like right after Saw it came out.
Oh, the one where the backpackers murder everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of worried about too, because there's a lot of shit. I went to Bolivia. You know, I'm originally from Bolivia. And I was going there to visit my family, and she was there doing volunteer work and whatever. She was talking to me about it. I was like, hell yeah, we should definitely hang out over the summer. But I don't even know if I want to go back to Bolivia over the summer. There's so many things I still want to do, you know, I still get ahead in my career and stuff. I like Nova. The community's great here. Mm-hmm. But I really want to, like, first build up the YouTube channel so that way we can find a place to move and stuff. I really want to have a studio where you guys can like come in and we can produce.
I want to be living in LA ASAP.
Yeah, me too.
That's where I want to be.
There's communities there that I heard from other YouTubers. Like, there's smaller communities there where they have like studio lots that you can sleep in the upstairs level of the studio. You can do that, but like it'll be not as expensive as like an actual studio that you have to rent out here.
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing. This area, man, because like when I lived in Chicago for a little bit, it's the same prices, man. It's like as far as rent's concerned, it's about the same prices as here. Like this isn't really a cheap area.
Yeah.
Like the one thing that was way worse is Chicago's tax. Like you have to pay state, city, and federal tax.
Yeah.
So you get an apple, and it's gonna be like $5.
Yeah, so if you guys want to help us out with that, please subscribe, you know?
Yeah, join our Patreon or just pay me.
I actually do have a Patreon. So check it out. You know, send us money, you know.
I was just saying generic YouTube stuff.
I actually do it, yeah, because I set up that Patreon for the EMT channel.
Nice.
For a long time ago.
Is that hard to set up?
No, it's not that hard. Trying to get people to send you money is hard.
Yeah, man.
You know, unless you're like
welcome to producing.
Yeah, unless you're a teenage girl on TikTok. Then,
yeah, right.
Then you'll get money, but
that's what we need. We need to start like recruiting.
Yeah, let's get Kat and put her in a dress. I
don't think she. Well, I don't think she would do that. Yeah, actually, there was one girl that I've been like semi talking to. This girl Rose. God, she actually knows Mickey.
Mickey?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
She's apparently like, really good friends with him because she said she knew me from like all of his films. That was like one of the first times I was like, oh my god, a pretty girl noticed me from the movies?
Dude, you're famous!
I did it! Yeah, so far I've translated that into little to nothing. But I really want to talk to her about like possibly doing film, but I just don't. I'm assuming Nikki's already done that because like she has one of those faces where it's like she would lock every person who's attracted to women right onto her because she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I just don't know about her acting ability. She seems pretty cool.
Well, we should definitely just ask because the worst thing you could say is no.
That's kind of what I've been doing with this, like the improv thing is like also people that I'm interested in. Like, hey, you want to do improv? So far I'm striking out, but yeah, it's...
Hey, you
never know.
It's their loss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's their loss because one, they're missing out on great opportunities. And if they have better opportunities, that's fine too. Happy for them, you know. I'm always happy to hear that people are always doing better.
Yes.
But yeah, you know, I definitely think a lot more people should try to at least break out of their shell, or at least try to break out of their circle, because like at some point you become a part of this like daily routine, and you don't want to break it. And there's actors that do that, and they're like, I'm gonna get somewhere by doing my routine. And no, that's not how you do it. You're supposed to break out of your shell to keep going.
It's all networking.
Yeah,
you gotta get out there. And plus, I think for anybody listening out there, try improv, because honestly, I mean, I know it's changed my life, but like I think just even like socially, just that idea of yes-anding and really thinking more about not only how acting works, but like how conversations work and everything, you know, that giving gifts idea of like setting somebody else up so they can say something and actually caring. And listen, one of the things that I got from acting that I think is something I wish more people would learn, but it's full engaged listening, not just listening with your ears, but listening with your eyes. Not to steal an old Fight Club quote, not just waiting for your turn to talk. You know, it's something that I think a lot of people in this world just don't do. Like we live in a very selfish society now, I think, and I think we're losing a little bit of our human interaction, especially when it comes to conversations and everything.
Yeah,
so,
I get that a lot too. Like I've been doing a lot of research as to why we don't talk to each other anymore. And another thing that I came across is in that same field is that whenever you ask somebody for help, like if you don't know anything, and you're like, hey, dude, how do I do this? They're like, oh, Google it. I'm like, dude, I'm asking you because I want to ask you. I want to have that personal interaction with you, so that way we can get to know each other a little bit better. Instead of like saying, you know, Google it or whatever, and having that whole thing be impersonal. You're just losing the whole human touch because of the whole accessibility to like unlimited information through the internet. It's kind of sad.
Yeah,
but at the same time, we also have to try to make do with like how people are sometimes. And you know, I'm gonna check to see something right now.
Yeah, no problem. Have we been recording?
We're pretty good on time.
So, oh, cool. And we're good on time.
But yeah, no, this perfectly transitions from the other topic to this topic, which is from another point of view. We got your point of view, but I think it's important to see like what other points of view you've seen.
Okay.
Like, you know, I can tell you all day, like, what I've learned from Alec. You know, I've learned that there's definitely a lot of stuff to, like, just try. You know, you gotta keep trying everything. You never gotta stop. Don't let the things that, like, get in your way stop you from doing what you need to do, because ultimately in the end that's what gets you stuck.
Yeah.
And you never want to be stuck in that rut. You gotta find your success where you get it, and then you gotta always take the people that are around you who are helping you out. You always gotta say thank you, man, because I appreciate you, and I do definitely appreciate you taking the time to come to my house and
it's my pleasure, man,
and do this podcast with me. Not many. I've actually tried to get a couple of people. I used to get our old crew to try to come down here and say, hey guys, let's do a podcast. Let's get this thing going. They're like, yeah, dude. Well, when are we gonna do it? I'm like, all right, let's do it on Friday. I messaged them and they're like, was that today? Oh yeah, man, I can't do it. I'm like,
that's
come on, guys.
Story of my life right there.
But hey, you know, when it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And when you have the people around you who actually want to do it and actually want to, like, make something together with you, then I think it'll all work out and we'll all get famous together or something like that. But
once again, I will say, I don't know about getting famous together, but if you don't jump at those opportunities to do something, you might miss an opportunity to make a beautiful project, you know? Regardless of how big it gets. Like, there's certain projects that I've done where I'm so fucking proud that I did that. Almost all of our projects that we've done, even the Joker thing actually turned out really well. I'll snaps for the editing on that one, because I know we had one actor who was not behaving with us.
I still have him on Facebook, and he's crazy. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he's an interesting dude. Interesting dude. I actually met him doing a play for Sterling Playmakers.
Yeah, but he's still honestly a cool guy. He's just kind of
he's cool. He's just like,
he's kind of going through his own things, and that's how people are.
Yeah, everybody's going through their own stuff.
And but yeah, I didn't expect myself to see how that Joker thing was going to go through. I was like, you know what? Because we shot that 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago? That couldn't have been 2 years. Was it 2 years ago?
That was like in the summer of 2017. That was the summer of 2017.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's about probably like a year and a half. But Still, God, time flies, man.
It's crazy.
But on the point of views, I will say things that I've learned. One of the first things I learned when we were working together, just you and Mickey, the way you guys talked as director and cinematographer, I thought was really, really great. Just seeing that bond. I mean, you really do have to. I mean, the more I've done film, the more I've been told time and time again, the director and the cinematographer need to be best friends, and it shows when you guys are on the same wavelength and everything. Things were going.
Yeah.
And that idea of, like, being able to, there were certain times you saw something that he didn't see. Sometimes there was things he saw that you didn't see, but you guys worked together and made, like, some really cool shots. Piano also put that point home to me, because I asked her once, because I was a cinematographer for this one film. Oh God, I can't remember the name of it. I remember being mad about it because I did all the cinematography for that film, and they didn't put me in the flipping credits. I was like, "What
really?
the fuck?" Yeah, they didn't credit their cinematographer. I'm like, dude, that was my camera. Like, I was the one. But that's whatever. It's whatever.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that project a lot because, regardless of how it turned out overall, it was one of my first times getting to experiment like crazy with a camera. I lied. I told them, I got plenty of cinematography experience.
Yeah, you should have put me on speed dial. And I'm like, yo, dude, so you need to get the light, and you definitely need to put a diff on it, and just light the hell out of that character's face.
Yeah, no, lighting was a huge issue. I learned that the hard way.
But yeah,
lighting with a lot of my films ends up being an issue.
Yeah, well, I feel like lighting is a director of photography specialty. You know, it's their signature on what they want to do, and if you get better at it and you keep practicing, you'll definitely get your own look.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that what you went through is a great learning experience. And now you have like a clear setting. You have a foundation of what your skill set is and what you can improve on.
Mm-hmm.
I remember after doing the 48, I was like, wow, this turned out great. I really love it. But there are definitely spaces where I'm like, all right, I should have done this better. And because I had another, we called it a DP, Kadeem.
Mm-hmm.
He essentially was like an AC. But we called him a DP just so that way he wouldn't be out credited and stuff by my title as director of photography. Yeah. But I definitely should have been on him a little more because he brought a really nice camera to the set, but it wasn't. It didn't have the right picture profile that we needed, and he shot at a frame rate slightly higher than mine. So I don't know how Safe did it. I'm pretty sure he downscaled the resolution a little bit for his footage and brought the frame rate down to the same frame rate that my Canon 70D was shooting at. And from there we went. But you know how the 48-hour turn-in time turned out.
Yeah.
That was bull, but at the same time, we still got it in. We still saw our movie on the big screen.
That's really interesting because there was another 48-hour film festival that I did with this dude Benji. We had a similar issue where we had two cameras that were similar in quality, but it was pretty much the two takes of where it's like one camera's here, one camera's there, to get different close-ups. The frame rate or something was completely different, and instead of trying to work on it in post, they just threw out all the footage from one camera. And I was like, damn, you literally are telling me you had to waste all that footage because it looked bad. I was just mad as an actor because the camera that they threw out was my close-up. I was like, no! That was my best work. But it's still, that film kind of worked out.
Yeah.
Sound was an issue with that film.
I can't tell you how many times I wish sound would work out for me, especially for this podcast right now.
Hopefully.
It'll get better. Next podcast, this does great. Even if it doesn't do great, I want to definitely try to do a second podcast because I really love this talk.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can get a mixer or some better audio equipment because we definitely try to have our games a little more stepped up so that way we don't get made fun of on the street.
People are all like, making fun of podcasters.
You're the guys with the ghetto podcast sound.
I heard nothing but white noise your whole sound, man. Throw you in the mud.
Kicking me.
I just wanted to try things. But I think that's the cool thing about this podcast is like, always challenge yourself to do different things. Like, because you'll learn more about sound doing this than you might ever have learned with just making films.
And who knows, it might even turn out better than how other podcasters do their things.
Yeah.
Maybe they should try the one mic setup.
There's a podcast. If you're ever looking for like a dream collaboration for me in the podcast department, is the Mouth of Dorkness. I actually used to serve him at the Alamo Draft House, but dude knows so much about film, and he's in this area, and that guy he has to see at least a movie a day. Like all he does is watch films. Mad props to him too.
That's crazy. Yeah,
I think he's got to a point because he's been doing it for like maybe a year or two now. I know he went to the TIFF, the Toronto Film Festival. But I want to say he got invited to the Critics' Choice Awards recently. I don't know, but I could be right. I could be wrong.
Well,
I haven't stalked his Instagram in a while. So,
and what was his name again?
The podcast name is The Mouth of Dorkness.
The Mouth of Dorkness. The Mouth of Dorkness. If you're listening to our podcast, if you remember Alec when he was serving the beer at the Alamo,
beer and pizza.
Definitely throw us a shout out, man. He remembers you and he likes your work. I'm definitely gonna check you out.
Him and his girlfriend are also the cutest couple I've ever seen. If you ever want to see like two people like made for each other, it's them. That's a perfect couple right there.
You lucky bastard.
It's funny because I'll see him like randomly when I'm going to movies because he goes to see a lot of the independent and avant-garde films that I try to see. So, speaking of independent and avant-garde films, let's talk about the Oscars because I'm itching to talk about these. First off, obviously, the thing everybody's talking about is the two things that they cut from the thing, the cinematography and
my job,
and editing.
What the fuck? They're also taking out what's it called, makeup. They're also dropping that. They're dropping makeup, costume, editing, and director of photography award.
I can see makeup and costume getting cut.
Yeah, but it's also pretty sad too. Like. They don't have anything else to lose. Like, they're just cutting, 10 minutes of the show?
And it's one of those things where it's like, look, if I understand, like, if you were really running over time and it's getting you in trouble with, like, the networks or something, but, dude, who cares? It's not like the people who are going to watch the Oscars are going to watch the Oscars. Like, people like us are going to watch them regardless. Yeah. If it's a fucking 5-hour show or, like, a 2-hour show. It's not going to kill me if they run a little long. But, like, to cut cinematography. I can also kind of understand cutting editing, because if there's any like group in the film like industry who understands having to cut something that you love, it's the editors. That's the one where they kind of got to be like, all right, I guess we earned this one.
You got us there.
Yeah. So the tables have turned. But like cinematography, without that, you don't have anything. And
it's really, I don't know, it's such a dumb move, because they're definitely cutting like the filmmakers out of the watching. They're losing a good viewership.
And like cinematography, I mean, like personally, I think that's one of my favorite like awards. I mean, you had recently Emmanuel Lubezki winning 3 years in a row for what it was, Birdman, Gravity, and The Revenant, not in that order. Mm-hmm. But you have a really great, I think this year's actually got a really tight race for cinematography with Roma and Cold War. I saw Cold War recently, and at the Charles Theater, since we're talking about old theaters, it's one of the oldest theaters in Baltimore. But it was beautiful. Fucking weird, like script wise, like no, I don't know what they were trying to do with the script, but like cinematically, you talk about picturesque film where it's like it made you forget all the flaws of the film. It's just, and it's all black and white too. Ironically, so is Roma, but both of those films, like those are two of the best films I've seen, like as far as like cinematography is concerned. I actually saw Roma with Rachel in the Virginia Film Festival. Oh, yeah, down in Charlottesville. That was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. We saw it in this other old ass theater. I can't remember the name of. The Paramount. That's it.
Okay.
Paramount. Yeah.
The Paramount. Old movie theaters. Making the bear with two hands or whatever in the back of the movie theater. Yeah. Bear with two backs. I fucked it up.
It's all good. It's all good. What, you seen any Oscar movies this year?
Let's see. What's being nominated for the Oscars this year? I've kind of like.
I had a paper. I know that like The Favorite, The Green Book. Here's my handy dandy cheat sheet for the Oscars. Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, Roma, A Star Is Born, and Vice for Best Picture. You want to? Also,
I haven't seen Black Klansman. I really wanted to.
I wanted to too. I really wanted to.
So if I had to pick any of them, I don't know. Because I also didn't see Black Panther. A lot of those movies I did not see.
I saw Black Panther last night.
I really want to see Black Klansman. So that's my vote.
I think it's going to win Best Adapted Screenplay. Yeah, Best Adapted Screenplay. Because I've noticed the Oscars like to do this, where they did the same thing with Get Out, where really I think Jordan Peele probably should have won Best Director, but they weren't gonna. They were gonna give it to the guy who was gonna win Best Picture. What was that? Was that the year Guillermo del Toro won? I want to say that's the year Guillermo del Toro won.
Yeah, the Shape of Water.
Yeah, which was really a great film. Yeah. But I think they're gonna end up giving that because they did the same thing when they gave screenplay to Get Out. They're gonna give adapted screenplay to Black Klansman, but I don't think he's gonna win director or picture. Honestly, I think Roma is going to win. Roma and Favorite are going to probably clean up a lot of the Oscar stuff. Roma, I think, is going to win a lot of more of the big awards, because it's a film where you definitely got to say. I think it's on Netflix right now, actually. Mm-hmm. If you get a chance, watch that, because it's not only is it filmed beautifully, where the cinematography is like, fuck, this is amazing, but the story, like there's good parts of that movie where it doesn't feel like you're watching a movie. It just feels like you're just watching life. Just life happen. Like once you accept like the things that there's certain things that they do with the cinematography. Like there's one that I think it is kind of innovative with the way they did it, but it's kind of a ripoff of like one of the Paranormal Activity things where it has that like
found footage kind of look.
Not found footage, but like there's one of the Paranormal Activities where he puts a camera on a oscillating fan, and it just goes back and forth. They do that a lot in Roma. It makes sense with the end shot once you see the end shot, but like for the first I don't know, about 30 minutes of that film, I just couldn't stop thinking of Paranormal Activity. That's why actually like my upset would be in cinematography. I would actually give it to Cold War over Roma, even though Roma is once again, that's a fantastic film. You need to watch it. But I would actually give cinematography to Cold War. The other thing, foreign film this year. Holy shit, there's so many good foreign films. What was it? Shoplifters is an amazing like Japanese film. Roma is an amazing Mexican-made film, which is up for Best Picture. And then I think Cold War is Polish Polish or Russian. It's set in Cold War Russia, but Cold War Russia was pretty much all of Asia.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fascinating thing there.
Yeah. And when would that? When's the
Oscars?
When's the Oscars?
The Oscars is going to be the last Sunday of this month of February.
Okay.
I don't know when this is coming out.
All right. Well, whenever this does come out, hopefully we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll know. You'll know in part 2 of this.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell them.
All right. Then let's see what the next one is. Actually, no. Let's keep talking about the Oscars.
You want to keep going with the Oscars?
Yeah.
Cool.
So I remember I wasn't that invested into the Oscars until like a couple of years back, where The Revenant won. I think it was DP, right? The director of photography.
It won cinematography. It cleaned up. Wow. That was one where it cleaned up.
Because I didn't see the movie until like after it won the thing. So I was like, you know what? I'll check it out. It's got Leo getting mauled by a bear.
Yeah,
I like Leo and I like bears. So let's go see that combination.
There's a lot of gay people out there who said the same sentence. I like Leo and I like bears. Different context though.
Well.
I actually got into the Oscars because I've been addicted to it recently. Like I made it like a goal. I want to say in 2014 or 15. It must have been 2014 because that's when I started working at the Alamo and Birdman. When that movie came out with Michael Keaton, that blew me away, man. I probably seen that film 6 times in theaters, just in theaters. I even I went out of my way to go see it before it came to the Alamo. Saw it twice at the Alamo.
Oh, nice.
Saw it like 2 or 3 more times at the Regal. That's just a really great film. But after then, I always tried to see like every Oscar film, and it's really interesting because there's a lot of times also where you can kind of start to tell like, oh wow, a lot of these awards are kind of paid off, aren't they? Yeah, because some shit films will win.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to see when that happens, but you know, it's whatever. That's
part of it.
That's how they're made, and they're made for it's the Oscar bait kind of stuff.
Yeah, and with a lot of those films, it's pretty much marketing budget because if you win an Oscar, like with The Revenant, you probably would have not seen The Revenant if they didn't win an Oscar.
Yeah,
you know?
I would have eventually seen it because it would have. It's showing on HBO every other month or something like that.
Yeah.
So eventually, yeah, but then I would have been blown away. I'm like, what the fuck? This movie? When did this movie come out? Besides what's going to be potentially won this year by whatever movie came out last year, what do you think are some good picks this year that are coming out? Like any?
Oh, that haven't come out yet for next year's Oscars?
Next year, for the 2020.
Oh shit, I don't know. I don't really know much about the films that are coming out this coming year. I mean,
there's definitely the big ones. The big ones are definitely coming out, like the Avengers movies. And
Star
Wars movies.
Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of the like Oscar bait films, like first off, they're not going to come out until I think it starts in October, ends in December.
Yeah.
So it's a little ways away, but like also there are a lot of them are, you know, it's not like the Avengers and stuff where we knew when the Avengers Endgame was going to come out before we even knew the title.
Yeah.
Like years ago. So I think there'll be a couple surprises in there. But I'm not sure what movies will be coming out next year for the Oscars. If you ask me the same question in September, I'll tell you everything.
All right, you guys heard it here. We're going to ask Alec that same question in September. All righty. Well, let's think about one more topic to talk about because we still got a good amount of time on the clock.
I will say, before we get off Oscars, one of the best films of the year that I think should have been nominated for Best Picture, and if it doesn't win in its category, then Disney paid a ton of money. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah, that was a great movie.
That was one of the best movies I've seen this year.
I love that.
I was so blown away. And the way to explain why there's so many Spider-Man, they did it. Like now Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire,
they can all come back.
It all makes sense now.
Essentially Tobey kind of came back as
Spider-Man,
kind of. But they killed him off.
Kind of, yeah.
Because the first Spider-Man you meet in the movie
is kind of like him. There's definitely they play that whole bit where he does the
dance moves,
the dance, and he does the train stopping thing.
So
wow, that was great. Yeah, the way they did that.
I liked Into the Spider-Verse. It was a great movie.
I'm excited for the sequel. But if Incredibles 2 wins, you know for a fact Disney paid for it.
Yeah,
I know. But I think The one thing with the Oscars is like you can kind of tell like certain things are going to win just based on their politics and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think Bohemian Rhapsody was that great, or
I don't think it's going to win anything.
I think Rami Malek's going to win best actor, literally just because they want to.
He did win something for that movie, but not an Oscar.
He won a BAFTA.
A BAFTA.
Yeah, the British Acting Film something.
Yeah,
TA.
He deserves it. He's a good actor, especially when I. So I found Rami Malek when he was in Mr. Robot.
I was going to say, yeah, that was a great TV show.
And after that TV show, I was like, huh. I wonder what else he's done. I looked it up, and he was like in Night of the Museum. And I was like, dude, this guy was in Night of the Museum? I don't remember seeing him. So I went back to watch all those movies again. I was like, it's right in front of me this whole time.
He's like a character actor before Mr. Robot put him on the map. But yeah, I think he'll end up winning for Best Actor. Also, because there's not a lot of like great acting, like as far as just male actors are concerned this year.
Yeah.
There wasn't really a lot that blew me away this year.
They're definitely going to put what's his name, Bradley Cooper into it.
I don't think they did. Movie. I think they snubbed him.
They snubbed it.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, for best actor. Oh no, he's in there. That's right. They snubbed him for best director because he directed A Star Is Born 2, and they didn't put him in there for that.
So yeah, he's definitely probably
he could win.
Yeah.
Rachel saw At Eternity's Gate with it's like all about who's the artist cut off his ear?
It's
Van Gogh. Yeah. Apparently, William Dafoe is really good in that film too.
That's the one that's done in like the whole water paint style, right? Or is this the live action one?
I think this one's live action because the one you're thinking of was a few years ago.
Yeah.
That got snubbed for best animation. Some Disney movie paid for it.
Yeah,
I mean they did the whole thing.
I mean, it looks pretty good though.
That was really good.
Crazy how they did that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if there's really, other than maybe Bradley Cooper. I really just think Rami Malek's just kind of got it like wrapped up. I think who I really hope. I hope Sam Elliott wins Best Supporting Actor. I think that because he was the guy who did he was like the old cowboy in The Big Lebowski.
Oh right, yeah.
I don't think he has an Oscar yet.
He doesn't?
No.
Oh wow.
Well, he's been in the game.
I think he deserves it. I think everyone who's been in the game for more than 10 years deserves it.
Glenn Close is probably going to win this year just because she's been in the game forever. My mom saw that film, The Wife. She said it was really, really good, so I'll just take her word for it.
All right, so now we're going to switch to one of our last subjects to talk about before we head out to the outro. I know this is kind of new for us to do, so I'm just going to state out what we're going to be doing first. So our last topic is going to be filmmaking. You know, what we like to do. Like, what's the thing that we're going to probably focus more of our attention on while we're working? You heard a little bit of a preview about what we're going to be trying to produce maybe next week or sometime in March. Hopefully, if the project gets going, then we can maybe produce it or something by next week. Definitely try. I would like to try to do it by next week.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, then that's perfectly fine. I have a gig on March 1st. It's just a Friday, so I have like a weekend to do editing for that job. But besides that, I want to start making films again. I want to start producing a lot more stuff, even if it's short skits. I have like a whole setup right there where I'm like thinking of what we're gonna be doing. Like, I had scheduled the Emt.Podcast episode 1 with Alec. And
that's me.
Yep. And then it would be like so the podcast would be weekly, so it'd be nice just sit down, talk.
I'm down to do this every week.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And then the short films, if we can get them down to a week, that'd be great. If not, bi-weekly is great too. We produce, get the script and everything ready on one week, and then the next week we produce it, and then we release it that same week. Then hell yeah, I'll be down to do that. And then the last one would be like, I don't know, these kind of like skits where we it's kind of like tutorials, except we make fun of the whole tutorial thing by doing like an in-person kind of thing. So it would still fall into the same category as the EMT short films, but it's more comedy driven, more improv driven.
That's my specialty.
Yeah, and even the short films could be improv, but still, love to produce a lot more stuff these next coming months. I have like a good goal to try to reach 10,000 subs by the middle of this year, July or June.
And how many of those do you want to be real accounts?
I would preferably love to have them be all real accounts. If they're all bot accounts, I don't think YouTube will count it, but what's up?
YouTube will count it. They can barely figure out their community guidelines.
That's true.
But yeah. A lot of what you're saying fits right into what I was imagining when I first started the little thing that I'm doing on Thursdays, which is like it's technically not an improv show. We really do like an hour of improv and then like an hour of like feature film stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, essentially it's a lot of the same stuff. I want to do a lot more short sketches because that's something where I feel like I could easily do if I had more people to do it with. And then obviously I'm gonna try. I'd like to do the 48-hour film festival again. Honestly,
yeah.
I actually there's one guy I've been talking to, Charlie Dreisen. I'm dropping his full name on there because he needs it.
Charlie's calling you out.
Yeah,
son.
Charlie. We need to make some films. I know. I kind of bojangled you a little bit on the last week, but he lives in Maryland, so it's a little tougher. But I would like to try to do the Baltimore 48-hour film festival because they're different months. So we could literally do like 2 48-hour film festivals in 2 different months. And he's a good actor. He has a ton of IMDb credits.
That kind of brings me to like a good idea. Trying to do that, we could do like like a small, like a BTS kind of doc kind of thing where it follows us around, where we're kind of doing these 2 48-hour film festivals in 2 months, and they're like completely separate, but still like the journey to try to do that would be insane and crazy, and having someone behind us to record what we're doing. Not
to mention, there is an award for best behind-the-scene footage in the 48-hour film festival.
Let's do it, son.
Let's do it. I'm down. I'm more than down. And yeah, my main goal for the year is to do more projects than I did last year. And 12 was the number last year.
Yeah.
I averaged about 1 a month, which is not bad. Not bad. Could have been better, but
1 a month is fantastic, I think.
You know? It could have been better.
Most people can't get by a whole year without making at least 2. I think I don't know how many films I made last year. I think I made 4. But they were decent films. The one I got paid handsomely for. So
yeah, I got paid for a few of them last year. I was kind of happy.
So
I think it's also easier as an actor because I can just kind of like, hey, here's one day, I'm in, I'm out, give me my money, I'm done. Because like the 3 commercials I did last year, it was $50. I probably spent like 2 hours. Like not bad. I had time to literally go to work afterwards.
Nice.
Go to my real job.
That's great. That's fantastic, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it's kind of different, especially because I had to. For the one I got paid handsomely, I had to do everything. So, but it was perfectly fine because it was also a project a friend of mine was producing. He had saved money. He was like, "Hey, I'll pay you." I'm like, "Sure, dude. Why not?"
Nice.
Gets my foot in the door, adding value to my work, and I think the film turned out great. You know, it could have been better, but you know, you can say that about
every
any
film. Every film. I don't think there's like
say that about.
There's not a respectable director who hasn't, or actor who hasn't been like, it could have been better. You know. It's always better in your mind.
But hey,
though.
It got me out of my rut. You know, I used to work at Planet Fitness right up the street here in Centerville.
Oh,
like
yeah. One that's off the side of the road.
Yeah, right over there.
That's such a weird place to put a gym.
Yeah,
like, who's stuck in rush hour traffic? I'm like, I want to work out.
I hate that place, dude.
Oh yeah, Planet Fitness is the worst.
So last time we hung out before like the whole Radio Sounds thing, I had no money. I was literally broke as hell. Thankfully, I had all my stuff together, but by the last time you saw me, I had like at least $5 in my bank account.
Nice, it's more than I have now. No, I'm kidding.
Well, yeah. Well,
see me in a week though. I'm sure I'll be broke.
No, but I believe you. I believe in you.
Thank
son.
you.
You'll get a job. You'll get. For people who don't know,
I got fired on my birthday. You believe that shit?
Dude, that is the worst. Like, what the fuck, dude? And you went back. So you went back and you tried to get your job back.
Yeah.
And what happened?
Oh, okay. So essentially, they said that I didn't call out for my birthday, but I was like, I called out like multiple times on multiple different venues. I'll be honest, I didn't really want to go back to that job. A lot of the people there were just like, I don't know, there's just like a mean energy. Now, they weren't mean people, like we had a lot of laughs and stuff, but like the chef hated me because he said I didn't take the job seriously because I was always making jokes. I'm like, it's because everybody in here sounds like they're on their last leg. Like, they need to liven up the energy. Because people would just go out and like serve and bartend and be like, "What do you want?" It's like, get the fuck out of here. Like, what the hell? So yeah, I kind of came in there with a bit of an attitude because I was like, I don't want to go back to work. I want to do this podcast. So I told him, I was like, I'm doing a podcast, so fuck off, take your job. No.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
And then I also dropped the podcast. But if you want to listen, here it is. Like, share, subscribe. Yeah, it was just one of those where, like, when I walked in, I was just like, plus I was drinking a lot more there, and like, I don't want to get my face fat.
Yeah, so
that's where all your alcohol goes, right to your face. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess for me it's all the food, but because I'm getting a little bit of chub, but I'm trying to lose it too at the same time.
Yeah, I've been trying to go to the gym.
But when I worked at Planet Fitness and I had $5 under my bank account, I literally had to like suck up my pride because I had a lot of pride at the time. I was like, well, I'm a fucking filmmaker. I can make a good amount of money, and I'm working here at this gym. But no, it taught me a good life lesson. I was like, bring yourself down to like the lowest. That's your baseline. That's where you fall to the ground. And you have to get yourself back up. And I learned a lot working there. I learned a lot about, not letting your pride stopping you from trying to get yourself out of the rut you dug yourself into. Yeah. Just get your life together. Like, sometimes you just gotta grit your teeth and work a shitty job to get out of the hole you're in. I have a car now. I didn't have a car last year.
Nice.
So now I have
Proud
a
of
car.
you, man.
I have a car. I made it pretty far on my own now. I have a good amount of money in my bank account. I'm not doing terrible for myself. I'm doing okay, and where I got a good job now, where the people that I work with, they like me, they respect me, and when I want to take a day or 2 weeks out of on vacation, they'll let me do that. And I get paid holidays. That's nice.
They won't fire you on your birthday, so that's how you know you got a good job.
Yeah, they won't fire me on my birthday, which is bull. That happened to you.
It's like one of those things where it's just like, I've never been my whole life. I've never no-showed, and like, they didn't even try to call me. They tried to contact me. They didn't try to tell me like, "Hey, you're supposed to come in for work." Like, nothing. So, whatever.
Yeah, that's
everything happens for a reason. And honestly, like, I do want to get a different type of job. I don't serve the food service industry. Oh man, that sucks. That really sucks. I've only had like one good food service industry job. That was the Alamo. I'll be honest, Lost Rhino wasn't the worst in the world, but it's just
Yeah, and like I said to you in a message earlier, things move out of the way to make way for better things. So I think some good's gonna come to you this year.
Hopefully, man.
Same for me.
First 2 months have been pretty rough. Yeah. Oh Lord, you don't know the half of it. But the one thing that's got me through these few months is the little improv thing that we've been doing, like that. That's one of those things where I want it to, every week, to get a little bit better, get a little closer to working on whatever projects we're doing, taking it, like, even if it's baby steps, as long as we're taking steps towards our goals and towards making projects. Mm-hmm. That's what I want. And so far we've been doing that, and I'm impressed by how it's grown. I'm interested next week because I have 2 people who are coming in just for the improv. And
new people?
Yeah, new people.
Newbies? Oh, great. Cool, I can't wait.
One of them's Rachel Abbott.
Rachel Abbott.
She's completely blind.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But she is fucking hilarious. She is so funny. She makes some great fucking jokes. So I'm interested to see how that works out. Yeah.
And who's the other?
This other dude, Patrick something or another. He's in my acting for the camera class. I haven't seen a lot of him. So I don't know. I know nothing. He says he's done improv though. So
a wild card. Well, we'll find out, I guess.
And we'll tell you about it on next week's podcast.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of what else we could talk about. All right, yeah, projects to start on. So, do you have any ideas of what we could work on in the next few months, other than the 48 and what Cat's got going on?
I mean, this is just shooting something in the dark. But let's start our own wrestling company, and we will just tell storylines through the ring. That sweet science. There it is. We'll get a mat and we could do it in the backyard, actually. We could call it like backyard wrestling. Boom. Genius. Heard it here first. Never been done before. I don't know. I would like to do, I think comedy sketches would be the best because it's, in my mind, quick and easy.
Yeah.
And a lot of it could just be, so one of the things I was trying to do early with that improv thing is improv force sketch, which is something I learned when I took classes at Second City in Chicago. It's essentially like you improv a little bit and like you find like a scenario or something you like, or you can come in, you can write like a setup or something. And I've done it myself when I was writing. When I get writer's block, I would literally just ask an actor or an actress to read the script as I have it, and then once we get to my writer's block, just keep going, just improv it. And I found that works really, really well, and I think you could do a lot with like comedy sketches like that. And especially with Tarek and Ryan, Ryan especially. Ryan's got some improv skills. Tarek's a little green to everything right now, but he's got raw talent. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't mind like actually making it like an improv troupe, but like it's interesting just to see different skill levels.
Yeah, that way you can gauge like what your teaching abilities are, and you learn a little more about yourself too. That way you can teach them more about improv. And if they're more of like a sticking to the script kind of person, that's fine too. They learn their sea legs when they hit the ground running. Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are stick to the script people. I guess because I got started with improv, mm-hmm. I thought improv was a bit more of the norm, mm-hmm. but I learned pretty quickly on, especially the more professional sets that I've been on, that you gotta stick to the script. Yeah, you gotta keep it real close to the script.
Sometimes they get really pissed.
Yeah. Stick to the script, folks. Unless you get like, if you're doing good,
unless you're known for doing this and they like you for doing it.
I will say, there was one play that I did this past year, Watergate with puppets. Granted, they were okay with doing a little bit of improv, but it was one of those where you just had to pick your spot. You know, if you're going to improv, don't improv every fucking thing.
Yeah.
Read the script, improv in your mind a bit, and pick your spot. Because if you feel really good about something, I've had great responses, but it's one of those things where it's risk. A lot of it, almost everything with film making is a risk, but sometimes it'll work out. Sometimes people will fucking shout at you.
Yeah. Did you ever have one of those experiences where they just shout at, they just yell at you?
Yeah, so I had a director, can't remember the guy's name, I think it was Bob. We'll call him Bob for now. He was directing a comedy, and it was a spinoff on Hamlet. I think it was Hamlet. Yeah, and it was because it's a comedy. I'm thinking like, okay, we can definitely improv. Like, this is obviously not. It's based off Shakespeare, but it's not Shakespeare. Yeah. Okay, like, let's be honest here. And I thought I was improvising some really good stuff. Like, I thought it was like really gold every time, and I thought it was making the script a lot more funny, or funnier, I should say. But he hated it, and I learned later he wrote and directed, and that's usually where it comes. Well, some directors won't really mind, but the writers always fucking care because it's their script, it's their baby. They don't want to see you. It's like when the babysitter teaches your kid like how to say shit. You're like, damn it, you've scarred my baby.
Yeah, I wanted to be the one teaching the word shit.
I wanted to teach him all the dirty words.
I don't know if you were there when our good old professor Pepe Joseph Lustig, Pepe.
He's a great teacher.
Yeah, he is great. I'm so glad to hear that he's still teaching because, like,
I'm so glad to hear he's still alive. First time I met him, he just came out of heart surgery. I was like,
oh,
fuck.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I thought he was going to be, and I made like a crappy joke about it too. Like, where I can't remember what I said, but I was like, it's something to the effect of like, oh, what have you? Just have a heart attack? And like Mickey just turned to me. He's like, he just got out of heart surgery.
I remember that.
This guy looks like he's dead. I was like, ugh. Little did I know I'd take him for a full year.
I feel bad too because I ran into him when I was going to one of my other classes last semester, and he was like, "Hey, Alex, how's it going?" I'm like, "Dude, it's been forever. You're still teaching."
You're still alive?
Like, yeah. You should come to one of our classes. It's like on Monday. It's at 4. No, it's not 4. It's at like 2 p.m. I'm like, fuck, I work full time. Yeah, so I couldn't make it, but I was hoping to see if I could catch him like this semester in the afternoon.
I'll go with you, man, if you want to go to one of his classes. He has like a history of film class I'd like to sit in on. The thing about it is I think I've already taken a history for film class.
Yeah.
So I did U.S. history and film, which is an interesting class.
Yeah.
Funny story about that. You ever see the movie Network?
Network?
Yeah.
No.
There's a scene where this guy who's like a TV news anchor starts freaking the fuck out and starts yelling, "I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore." So I put that into my presentation about it, but I made it act like I was the one freaking out because I threw my script out and I was like, "I want to tell you about your cell phones and your bullshit," and I just started going, and I literally I got to the point where I'm like, you have to yell that you're mad as hell and you're not going to take it anymore. And I bust out of the classroom and I point at this poor little black lady who's just like startled, like she thought I could see Columbine just flash through her eyes real quick. It was like, "I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore," and I bust back in. And I finished the thing, and the class is stunned. They're like, what?
Dude, if I was there, I would have been like, slow clap.
You're right. And then the teacher, he was like, "Okay, that was really good, Alec. Do you want to maybe show anything else?" And I didn't get it at the time because I was so proud of what I just did. I was like, "Nope, I'm good. I'm done." And then after class, he goes, "I wanted you to show the actual clip that you were referencing because I don't think anybody in the class got it." There's 2 or 3 people who thought I met them later in classes after that. One kid told me, "You're the guy who had a mental breakdown in my film for U.S. history class." I was like, it's a scene in the film, whatever. Yeah, I had a mental breakdown. Sure,
you gotta watch it to get it.
In my mind, I was like, that's such a great performance. Everybody in that classroom is going to watch that film now. It didn't occur to me that most of those people are there just for the easy A.
Man, I wish I could have seen it.
It was gold. That was one of the, as far as acting goes, it might be one of my favorite moments of me acting, and it came in a classroom.
Yeah, I think for me one of my favorite moments as like a filmmaker and editor too would be I was taking a studies of popular culture class just to get through the English literature thing that's required of every Nova student.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a great class. I learned a lot of good stuff and a lot of useless stuff at that. But I did run into a lot of good people. And as a final project for that class, I had to make a video or something. I didn't have to make a video. They're presentation of video. It's whatever. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a video, and it's gonna be people are gonna look at me like a square or something like that. But I honestly I was in love with this one line from T2, not Terminator 2. Trainspotting 2.
Okay.
From the ads.
Yeah.
The Choose Life ads with what's his name?
Ewan McGregor.
Ian McGregor. And his whole little speech in that commercial. I was like, dude, I love that. Let me use that. And I used some of the footage that we got when we were running to the 48 to submit the film. And then there's some footage from another short film that I did when we were testing out a camera rig. And I put that all together, and it's a really solid anti-drug kind of thing. And when I played it for the class, it was dead silent. They're like, wow. People watch that and they're like, I'm pretty sure I scarred some kids too. Because I showed some scenes from Requiem for a Dream.
Okay.
And some of the fucked up scenes, where one of the where Jared Leto's character doesn't have an arm.
Yeah.
And I showed a lot of that. And by the end of the class, I was walking out, I was like, yeah, no one liked mine. No one liked my project. I'm probably never going to come back to this class again. And when I was walking out, one of my classmates came up to me and was like, hey, man, I really liked your thing because my sister, she OD'd and she died and she passed away from substance abuse. And I always just wanted to say thank you for bringing that up to light. And I was like, thanks, man. I'm glad that you had this reaction to my project. And I'm just super happy. And then he gave me a hug and a handshake, and I was like, yeah, man, have a good semester, have a good break and stuff. That's
really cool.
So yeah, that hit me pretty hard, and I was like, wow. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I went home and I was like, I'm gonna take the day off. I'm just gonna
hang your hat up real quick.
I'm just gonna go to sleep now.
Yeah.
Because But that was a good project, you know. I'll show it to you like once we're done with the podcast.
Yeah, I'm done.
It's not like the nicest one. It's very corny, but at the same time, it's also like really hard hitting.
That's the goal of every anything in entertainment is just if you can just make one person either think differently, feel something, or just have a great reaction to it. I actually had a really similar story when I first started doing stand-up. My first stand-up, I was just at a bar open mic. It was like 15 people playing music and my stand-up. So I got like 5 minutes and I didn't get a single reaction. Like it's one, like in comedy, sometimes they say like it's better to get boos than to get silence, because at least you know like people are listening and people are reacting, and that way you can figure out like, okay, this joke didn't work.
Yeah.
But just dead silence, and I thought it was crap. And I went to the bar, grabbed a beer. Guy just like taps me on the shoulder and he goes, "Hey man, I've been having a really rough day, and you made me smile. So thanks for that." And I was like, "Thank you. Now next time you should laugh." But no, it literally made me get up again. So, and that's one thing. Like you never know who you're going to touch, and you never know who's gonna be there for you. You know?
So that
always appreciate the people making the art that you like.
Yeah.
Because you never know when they might be on their last leg.
For sure. Oh my God, it's so odd, because like when you're you and you're like just going through life saying, I want to make something, I want to see if it gets a good reaction, but you don't you're like expecting a reaction that you think is mostly negative, and then when you get it and it's a positive reaction, whether or not it's like it's a reaction to a joke like or a comedy skit where you make someone's day, or another one where you touch someone's heart because their sister died and you're spreading the message that they want spread. It changes your life. I mean, it really does. And I kind of want to keep doing that. I want to keep pushing narratives that make you laugh, make you cry, make you think about life. And at some point, and I told my dad this, and I like to tell a lot of people this, that when I do my projects, I want to inspire somebody, or a kid, or anybody. I want to inspire somebody to watch, when they watch it, like, I want to be like Alex. I want to make this. You know, I want to have my voice. And I felt the same way when I was watching like the old Steven Spielberg films, the E.T. When I watched it, I was like, wow, that's a great film. You know, it's kind of corny, but it's the 90s and the 80s. I saw it in early 2000s. I'm not a 90s kid. I wasn't born in the 80s, but I grew up without the internet, without a cell phone until high school. So most of my life was like, I'm trying to get on the internet, or I was reading a comic book or a book or playing with toys. And I got to experience some of the nicer things. I had like one of the old rubber Space Godzilla things, and I used to fucking fling that stuff. So, you know, it's really nice to have those reactions, you know. Bringing people back and having them go back to your movie and say, hey, wow, I really want to make something like that, or this guy inspired me. I want to inspire people to do their own things. Yeah,
that's what it's all about. We were inspired at one point, you know, and we want to pass that experience on.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to have somebody say that I got into comedy because I saw your film and started making crappy jokes about a motorcyclist.
Yeah.
You know, or even better yet, somebody say, hey, I had sex watching you and Emily Blunt in Gulliver's Travels. Like, life dream complete.
Yes, that's how you do. That's how you know you made it. Yep. When you have people having sex in your movie.
When somebody climaxes while you're acting.
When somebody climaxes at the climax of your film.
Yes, that's actually why they call it a climax. The first play was riveting.
All right, so that brings us closer to our end. Had a great run with this podcast. A nice first episode.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say nice. It's a great first episode. You know,
but like every director,
it's going to be huge. Okay.
Yeah, but every director would say, it could be a little better.
Yeah, for sure. I love doing this podcast.
Yeah, this is really fun.
To have you on again.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely be again.
Let's spread this around. Let's share it on social media.
Mm-hmm.
want to.
And if I mentioned your name, just know I love you. Okay.
Yeah.
Just everybody. So.
And if you're not cool with it, let us know.
If you're not cool with that, we got then 2 words for you.
We'll bleep it out in a remastered or whatever.
Yeah. Don't sue me.
Yeah, don't sue us. We're not making money off of this.
Yeah, there's no money. But join our Patreon so somebody can sue us. Yeah. Then we'll have money.
Yeah. Then we'll have money for you to sue us with.
Yes.
We'll help a brother out so that way you can help yourself out.
Yes. So, and if you know a good lawyer, let us know.
Yeah, because the president doesn't have a good one.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Comment your favorite lawyer down below.
All right. Well, it's a great podcast. You can hear more about it through the YouTube channel and through our social media. I'm gonna post a link to this and put it all on. I don't really use Twitter that much, but you can definitely check it out. It's at Emt.Films Pro. That's again at Emt.Films Pro, and my Instagram is Emt.Films. That's pretty much it. There's no pro behind that one, but cool. It's Emt.Films. If you look me up, you can find us there. YouTube channel. It's a little harder to find because there's another YouTube channel called Emt.Films, but you can look us easily up by Torch.Films. But if that's not easy, you can still look up Emt.Films. I'm sure I'll show up. You'll see my pretty face, but then eventually I want to change that. Mm-hmm. I want to not have it be my face. I want to have it be like
my face.
All right. Well, Alec, did you want to plug any social media?
Yeah, it's Alec Scheller on Facebook, Alec Scheller on YouTube. Don't look at my Twitter. I have no clue what's on there anymore. I haven't used that in years. And my Instagram is Shellmeister. And my Snapchat is Alec I, because apparently you can't change that name. Damn it, middle school Alec. You screwed me. 2 I's and I. No A.
No A. Dang.
Follow me on YouTube. How about that? That's probably my best social media.
Yes, son. Help us out. Help us grow. And we'll see you guys next time. Say bye.
I love you.